Param Shanti, infinite supreme peace to all the divine souls and salutation to our beloved Bapuji and Brahmama. Welcome you all to Bapuji Dashrath Bhai YouTube channel. This is a translation video of Bapuji Hindi video आत्मा की शक्ति कैसे खर्च होती है साइंस ऑफ एनर्जी एक्सचेंज दैट इज आत्मिक ऊर्जा कैसे बढ़ाएं परम शांति Today we will talk about how the energy of the soul is wasted, how the power of the soul is reduced by thoughts. People keep thinking, keep making resolutions. Thinking means wasting power of soul. That is why it is said in the path of the knowledge that one must not think. One must think before even thinking. Never become embodiment of your thoughts. When you think, your ether, that is Akash element, means your causal body, comes into effect. And when ether element comes into effect, then the energy that the ether element needs, it takes from the supreme ether or Param Prakash, and the energy that supreme ether needs, it takes from the supreme Mahatattva, that is Param Mahatattva element. And the energy that the supreme Mahatattva element or Param Mahatattva needs ultimately comes from the soul. So, by thinking, the power of the soul comes into the supreme Mahatattva element or Param Mahatattva, from supreme Mahatattva to the supreme ether element, and from the supreme ether element it comes to the ether element. That is why the energy of the soul is wasted, and when you think negatively, negative energy is created from the ether element, and whatever resolution you make in the ether element, that gets recorded in the causal body. It gets recorded negatively in it. Whatever you think gets recorded in the causal body. The causal body means ether element. The causal body is made of the ether element, and whenever you think, the ether element immediately gets affected and gets converted from ether, that is Akash, to air, that is Vayu element. And from air element, the thought gets converted into the fire element. When you remember someone, then in your thoughts, a photo of the person comes. If the photo of person comes in your intellect's TV, then you are thinking about it. If you are thinking negatively, then immediately by your mere thought, the ether element immediately gets affected. From ether, it gets converted to air. From air, it gets converted into fire. And the effect of the fire element will reach that photo. Wherever he is, whether he is in America or in any corner of the world, your thoughts will reach to him. And if it is your negative thought, then in his intellect like TV, your thoughts will also reach his intellect. It will reach his aura. If his aura is powerful and sealed, then your resolution will come back and harm you by giving negative reaction to your aura. The same problem will react negatively to you and will react in your aura, that is subtle body. And then from the subtle body, it will react to your physical body of the water and earth element also. So due to the negative thinking, ultimately your soul's power gets converted in different stages and then ultimately comes in ether element. After the power declines to ether element, further thinking will convert ether element to air element and then to fire element. This way power gets wasted in thinking about thoughts. When you think negative, then your aura gradually becomes black due to the negative thinking, and the resolutions that comes out of that aura creates negative. So the soul upfront gets affected negatively. If the soul is weak, then it will have negative effect on him. he will receive the effect of your negative resolution and damage his aura. But if his aura is powerful, then that resolution will come back to you. If he gets touched by your resolutions, then he will think about you. If he has negative thoughts about you, then that negative thought will also come towards you and will spoil your aura. By entering the aura, that crisis will affect your subtle body, and after affecting the subtle body, then the ultimate effect will affect the Akash Tattva, that is ether element, and the causal body. That's why in the path of knowledge they say that you should not think but become an embodiment of one's true self. And where should you always apply your intellect? You should apply it in the highest Paramdham, that is supreme abode. So, when you apply your intellect into the infinite supreme abode, then your intellect is in its supreme abode of infinite stage. So, when you fix your intellect in infinite degree of celestial power of supreme abode, then whatever you think, you will achieve it. This can happen only by being in the soul conscious state and taking the power from that supreme abode. Otherwise, even if that power comes, then the power will not go into your soul. As soon as power enters to the ether element, that power will reflect and go out. It will spread via the aura. It will not got inside the ether element. It will not go inside the ether element into the supreme ether. Because in order to go into the supreme ether element, knowledge of how to be in soul conscious state is needed. Thus, it is very important to experience the soul consciousness state. Therefore, when you have knowledge of being in soul conscious form, and when you experience it and fix your intellect in the higher supreme abode, that is Paramdham, one remembers the infinite supreme Father. In other words, you will remember the almighty authority through the intellect being fixed in the true Paramdham, that is supreme abode, and as a result of the supreme divine light that comes from there, it will gradually enter your soul in this manner, that is, from the causal body to the supreme great causal body, and gradually enter the soul. But it will come only if you are in the soul consciousness state. If you are not in soul consciousness state, that is Atma Swarup, then the power cannot come. So first of all, what is said in the Bhagavad Gita? Gita Gyan says, become soul conscious and remember me, the supreme soul. I will destroy all your sins and finally take you to the higher supreme abode. This is Gita's Mahavakya, that is grand pronouncement. So what is said in Gita becomes soul conscious. By being in the soul conscious state, you will remember infinite supreme Father, and the power that he possesses will be derived into you. Remembering the supreme soul means establishing the connection. In other words, it means yoga. It means the connection of the soul with the supreme soul will be connected, and that power of the supreme soul will come into the soul. The light of the soul is the supreme light, so the supreme light will come. So, when supreme divine light enters, all the records that are lying in the causal body of many births will be deleted. The record of many births is lying in ether element of the causal body. All those records will be deleted. Records getting deleted, it means the sins have been destroyed. Then, when you go up, you will go back to where you come from. Finally, when power comes into the soul, and then if you have knowledge and wisdom in your intellect at the end, then you will remember that I have to go to the highest supreme abode. If your soul has the power of the infinite celestial degree, then you will go to the supreme abode which has infinite power. If you have come from the galaxy, that is Mahabrahmand, and if you have the power of 8 to 10 celestial degree, then you will go to the Paramdham, supreme abode of galaxy, that is Mahabrahmand. If the soul has a power of 16 to 20 celestial degree, then you will go to the supreme abode of the universe. Or if still higher quality power, you will go to the great universe or even the higher above. Therefore, it depends on the soul power, how much power the soul has, and it can go whichever dimension it wants. So never waste the soul's power by thinking negatively. If you be in the soul conscious state and connect to the infinite supreme abode and take the power onto your soul and spread the vibration of supreme peace. By doing this, we are spreading not only the vibrations of supreme peace but also supreme divine light gets disseminated. First of all, power will enter the causal body, supreme supracausal body, the subtle body and the aura, and all the vibration of the supreme peace will spread and added to this. The vibration of supreme peace will spread all around in the atmosphere. Your house will be filled with the supreme peace. So it is always said that the power of the resolutions comes when there is a power in your soul. The power of the soul should not be wasted. The power should be used positively. The power should be multiplied by the vibration of the supreme peace. The vibration of the supreme peace should be multiplied. They will go into the atmosphere as far as power in the resolution. If there is a resolution power, then there will be a vibration all around. You will receive the vibrations and people will also receive the vibrations. You will be touched by supreme peace. Even your enemies will experience supreme peace. Anyone who remembers you will receive the supreme peace. The vibration of supreme peace will reach till America if someone remembers you there. Then he will receive the supreme peace. Always convert every negative thought into positive. You have to transform even the enemies. We should not think negative at all. Never waste your soul power in negative thinking. In fact, don't think. Practice looking at yourself when seeing others. Do not see while actually seeing. Why? If you want to see, then you will think about the one whom you will see. You will think about that person means your soul's energy will be wasted. That's why never even think or create unnecessary thoughts. These are the grand pronouncements of the infinite supreme knowledge. If you want to see something, then you have to see only the infinite supreme Father. Practice not to see others while seeing through your eyes, not to listen while listening through ears, and remain in the state beyond words. Be in the state of soul consciousness and through your intellect remember the Supreme Father in the infinite supreme abode who is the powerhouse. We have to remember the one who gives us power. If we think negatively, then our power will be wasted and then negative thinking will affect our aura. The person about whom we think, it will affect his aura. The vibration of the thought will come back as an action. You also have a reaction in your thoughts. The one on whom you leave a thought, that thought touches him. He thinks negatively about you, then that thought comes back in a negative way. When it reacts and comes towards you, it creates a negative atmosphere. The air element also gets affected. When the ether elements gets affected, then those thoughts reaches till the causal body. So the knowledge is simple, that one must not think as the soul power should not be wasted. Even the waste thoughts, if comes, should be made and converted to the best. This is the marker of knowledgeable soul. Param Shanti, infinite supreme peace.
शांति सोचो बोलो परम शांति।
Join us daily for our morning live meditation, Monday to Saturday, 5:30 to 6:30 a.m.
Join us daily for live meditation, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. on YouTube Live. Subscribe now. Website www.paramshanti.org. Email us anand@paramshanti.org. Like, share, subscribe. Join today.
बेहद की परम शांति सो